fishing weight my fat half-elven ass. That's a Sun Elven Rainseeker's earring. I'd stake my life on it. You tell him that's my professional opinion, and if he's got a brain in his head, he'll dig 9 to 13 cubits away from the well. Odd numbers were sacred for them. Yeah, okay. Tell me how it turns out. Oh, send pictures. I want to see the look on his face when he figures out he's Wallace budged his translations. Ciao, Bella. Ooh, home at last.
Jane, there's a package here from Dragon Fantasy. Uh-oh. Postmarks from June.
Throw it all. Is there a note attached?
Just the one. Jane, read this post-haste and beware the color red.
What? Let me see. Red, huh? Well, I don't think I'm cool enough to be accosted in the shower by Rage Rider, Obscurus Lupa, or Diamanda Hagen. Can we think of any other threats that come in red?
Did you piss off a red lantern? Annoy a Sentai team. Insult a fire truck's mother.
Dry up, Lenore. Gotta go get my hat. Think we can get this film before I collapse from pensive withdrawal?
No, Jane, don't. You're reviewing tables red.
I'll be fine, Cody love. It's a plastic table. It's not evil. Lawful neutral at the most.
I'm still going to be casting Detect Evil on it.
You do that, hon. I'll be back in a bit. Ah! Lenore! Help!
Jane? Are you okay in there?
Yeah, I think so, but run a full diagnostic on me. Oh, God, that hurt.
You seem fine. A trifle anemic, but then you usually are. Except for...
What?
It's gone now. Something flickered on my sensors, but now nothing.
If it shows up again, alert the clerics and Dragon Fantasy.
What about you?
If that was any indication, just make sure I'm not dead. Alright, I gotta get this review done. I don't have time for this. Greetings, fair readers! Welcome to the Bookwyrm's Lair. I'm Jane Grey the Book Witch, and I'm back for another season of books to delight, dismay, and disgust. Recently, as in the past 3 hours, I got my hands on a book that seemed intriguing, both by being a historical tale of science and intrigue and a steampunk story. Okay, clockpunk. Many people know Sir Isaac Newton as the man who figured out gravity, but fewer know of him as a brilliant but somewhat vain mathematician and scientist who developed the first practical refracting telescope, a theory of color based on observations of prisms, and, well, Newtonian physics. He never married, causing many to speculate that he died a virgin and was the second University of Cambridge Lucasian professor of mathematics, as well as refusing to take holy orders like many Cambridge professors of his day. It's now believed that he had Asperger's syndrome, and that much of his life was shaped by the fact that when he hated you, his idea of revenge was to prove he was smarter than you. But the book isn't precisely about that. The book focuses instead on a fictional contemporary of his, and at one point college roommate, Daniel Waterhouse, through a series of flashbacks and his trip to England to attend to a summons from Princess Caroline. Daniel is the son of a rabid puritanical preacher, Drake Waterhouse, and has been groomed for the apocalypse that was supposedly approaching in 1666. I can hear the voices now. This isn't a mystery, or fantasy, or sci-fi. Well, agree with that. Namely, the judges of the Arthur C. Clarke and Locus Awards. Neal Stephenson himself insists this book and its companions are science fiction due to the emphasis on science and technology and related themes. Okay, I'd argue with that myself, but I really haven't done any sci-fi in a while, so I'll let that one slide. Another thing about this book is that it's full to the gills with famous names. It's a veritable who's who of 17th and 18th century Europe and the Americas. In addition to Sir Isaac Newton, we meet Mother Goose, Samuel Pepys, a young Benjamin Franklin, and even the infamous and saucy Nell Gwyn. Any history buff who knows that time will know other names, but I'm just picking out the ones I recognize without Google or Wikipedia. It's actually a little hard to give a synopsis of this book. For one thing, it randomly jumps around at times, and sometimes even in the middle of a scene. Don't ask me how Stevenson got away with that. Any other published writer would be tarred and feathered by their editors and publishers for that garbage. Go figure. The other problem is that this isn't even the whole book. The original was split into 3 volumes, and the second volume focuses on 2 unrelated characters. What the frell? Just as I start to become comfortable and friendly with the disillusioned Daniel Waterhouse and his slightly more optimistic younger self, I get pushed along by the tour guide. What I can say is this. The book is actually pretty darn good. I'll admit I wasn't looking forward to this book, and it didn't totally surprise me. But it was a fun read, and I had a grand time exploring 17th century England and the surrounding world through its eyes. I have to hand it to Stevenson. He can set a scene like the best of them. I could smell the back streets of 1660s London, could taste the bitter coffee, see the colors of the clothes, and feel the smoky air. If nothing else, that made the book bearable. What made it less than fun was the aforementioned jumping around. At least one scene of the 1660s was broken by describing something in 1713 that I honestly didn't care about or find interesting. It's not even like he was cutting up the narrative and rearranging it. You could seriously not continue without taking in the new information. Also, the relationship between Daniel Waterhouse and Isaac Newton puts me in mind of some fanfic I've read. Stevenson implies heavily that the reason Sir Isaac never married was that he was gay. Not only that, but in the book it causes a major fit of angst when his semi-well-known list of sins is begun because he started lusting after Daniel and drew a picture of him while he was sleeping. Daniel, while he doesn't share this infatuation, does spend much of his time at Trinity College tending to his friend, making sure he eats and sleeps. Isaac Newton, for his part, is Daniel's sizar, which is an archaic term for someone paying his way through school as a personal valet to another student. He's described as fussing over Daniel's hair and clothes like some Baroque queer eye for the straight guy. Maybe I'm just not as knowledgeable about history as I thought, but that seems forced. There's something else I feel I should mention. I'm trying to be fair and unbiased about this, but it did color my view of the book. It's graphic. The levels of gore in here are almost Hammer horror worthy, and I like Hammer horror movies. Most of it focuses on animals, though, because back then, experimenting on humans, evil. Experimenting on harmless animals? Sure, it's not like they have souls or anything. I wanted this point made now because I want it known that I don't hold with it, no matter what I rate this book. I'm giving it a green star. It's pretty good, but it's hardly light reading, and the narrative flow is too choppy to be truly enjoyable, unless you like science and political history. This book isn't just thick, it's heavy. It'll make you think, or at the very least, run for Wikipedia. Definitely avoid this one if you're squeamish or a serious animal lover. That's it for this episode. Until next time, I'm Jane Grey wishing you a good book to curl up with. Bye! Not like I had much to go on book-wise. Physically either. Must have done more of a number on me than I thought.
How are you feeling now?
Well, like I got run over by a great red worm right after they dropped an anvil on my head.
Jane, that energy signature is back. Jane? Oh, Lovelace. Apples. Can't call out. Codex!
Lenore? What's happening?
I don't know, she just... Sweet Lovelace, get the clerics! Come on already. Is there a sunspot? Hey, who the surge are you? Jane the twin?
Yes. Then again, no.
Wait, that energy signature. The crystal. What?